Okay, this is a really strange feeling. I'll just tell you how I'm feeling when I'm looking at this card. I'm getting a sort of a drop. It's like your stomach's dropping down, like, oh, and then there's a rise coming out of that. It's like, oh, terrible thing. And then something great happened out of that. It's kind of like, I think something very hurtful happened to you. And yeah, I'm surprised the Tower isn't here, because I'm actually seeing a really big shock here. But you managed to turn this around for yourself. I'm just looking at the background on this card, and it's full of water. There's a big waterfall sort of cascading down. And I think that's what you felt like, when you found out about something that happened. There's a great big shock. You found something out, and it was like your stomach dropped, as if you were kind of falling down this big waterfall that's coming down. The Death card's about huge changes, huge life changes, putting an end to something and starting a whole new life. And I think you did that. I think you actually started a more authentic life than the one you had when you were with this person who made your stomach drop. Yeah, if you look at the rose, there's a rose on this flag, and it's a wild rose because it only has 5 petals. The ones we have now, they're cultivated, they're beautiful, but they're not as authentic as a wild rose. And I think after you kind of separated from this person, your whole life became a lot more authentic. You started to build a more authentic life, if that makes sense. And sometimes living an authentic life can be more difficult in a lot of ways, because we have to face ourselves. We have to face every bit of ourselves, even things we'd rather hide from other people and things we'd rather hide from ourselves, actually. So if this is resonating, if this is making sense to you, if you've come through all of that, you absolutely deserve congratulations, for one, because I think a lot of people start this change in themselves and it becomes just too much for them, and they just turn back and go back to where they came from. But for you, there was just no turning back. You had to move forward, and you knew that's what you had to do, and that's what you did. And the other fantastic thing about this change is you weren't under the control of this person anymore. I think someone might have tried to control you. That's what I'm seeing there. And I think when you moved away from this, they couldn't do that anymore. You can't control a wild rose. It just grows wherever it wants to grow. And that's what you do. You just do what you want. You're your own boss. You do what you want to do. And this is really, really fantastic to see. I love seeing this. So this is about rising up out of being controlled and getting that independence. But it had to take that drop, that horrible shock, some drop in your stomach, for that to all happen. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Okay, so the next card you have your past is the 7 of Cups. Yeah, this is a really tricky, confusing card. I really, really hate this card because I like straightforwardness. I can't stand not knowing where you are, and that's what's happening with this man in this card. He's in the dark. He doesn't know what to choose. He's got all these kind of tempting things in front of him, and he's just doesn't know what to do. So I think maybe when you're with this person, you didn't realize how much you were being controlled. They were confusing you. I don't know if this is going to make sense, but I think this might be someone who disguises control behind love, if that makes sense. So, maybe they were saying things like, oh, I'm just doing this to protect you, or oh, I'm just checking up on you because I care about you, or, I'm just going through your phone to check because I don't want anyone texting you, and I'm trying to protect you from all these other horrible people who want to go into your DMs. Something like that. I know it's not funny, it's horrible. So, you went through all of that, and, and I think when the end came, obviously it was very painful, but, you went through that pain, and then after that you found this clarity that I don't think you were able to feel when you were around them. There was no clarity when you were with this person. It's a really strange feeling. It's really difficult to explain. I think even if you met them on the street now and they started talking to you, you might feel all confused again. They're that kind of a person. You don't want them back. I'm not saying that, but they sort of muddy things. They make everything unclear, and I think they use that to their advantage, actually, and I think they do that with other people as well sometimes. So yeah, it sounds horrible. I know it sounds like they're a horrible person, but I hope it doesn't resonate with you, but if it does, you did get away from this. You got away from this, you got out of this, and that's the main thing I'm seeing here. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. I hope that makes sense to you. So the last card you have, you passed, is the Moon. So, okay, this is interesting because there are watchtowers on both of these cards, this one and the Death card. You know, there are watchtowers here, obviously, and the ones on the Death card, they're right where the horse's head is. There are these two little watchtowers up there with the sun coming up through them. In this one, obviously, the moon's in between them. So, yeah, you did get through this. It was a huge effort for you to do this. You're 100% on your own. Yeah, you were all by yourself. You did this by yourself. And I think for a while, it might have been even more difficult after you realised the inevitability of this separation, after you had this shock and you were like, okay, I do have to separate. I think it was more difficult for you after that, because I'm seeing a lot of gossip around this. I'm just looking at this dog and this wolf here. It looks like they're talking, arguing, gossiping. There are a lot of arguments as well. And I think you might have been... Yeah, I actually think there are a lot of people around you arguing. It wasn't just you and this ex arguing. There are other people around this. Maybe it was their family or your family even, I don't know. But there was a lot of talk, a lot of gossip. And yeah, you got out of all of this. I think you probably had to cut a lot of people out, actually. And, you know, as you walked up this path, you know, there's a path here and the lobster's walking up the path. You know, as you started walking up out of this, you know, if you look at this up on the horizon, there's these watchtowers. So, you know, I hope this is going to make sense. But I'm seeing two stages in this. It's like there was a first one, you were getting through the confusion and all the talk, all the mess and everything. You climbed up out of that. And then I think there was a final separation. And that's what the Death card's about. And then, you know, there's a group of watchtowers there as well. So, and, you know, when you're up on a watchtower, you can see everything. So you're finally able to see everything for what it was. You could see them for who they were. And I think that was when you realised there was absolutely no going back. I am not going back to this ever again. I'm moving forward. I'm not turning back ever again. That's the feeling I'm getting after that. And that's what the Death card's about. Death's final, there's no going back, that's it. So I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so the first card you have your present is the Chariot. Yeah, so yeah, you've driven yourself far away from all of that with the Chariot. He's kind of driving away. He's very forceful. He's very determined. I'm really happy to see that. So you're far away from all of those horrible, deep, difficult emotions that I was seeing there. And I think if this person came anywhere near you now, you'd probably turn into this man in the Chariot, literally, and you'd start driving away. You might even start looking at them like him. You know, he looks really serious. He looks angry, actually. I also think you might be planning to move out of a work situation. You know, this is all about being independent, being by yourself, being determined, not wanting to rely on other people. That's the feeling I'm getting here. You know, you are work focused, but I think you probably prefer to work alone. I think you like to be in control of things, not in a controlling way like this axe that I'm seeing on here, but, you know, I think you've had a few unreliable people around you in the workplace, especially in other areas as well, but in the workplace definitely. And so I think even if you had to do extra work, you wouldn't mind. You'd be happier to do extra work if you could do it by yourself. You know, the Chariot's driving away from the town where everyone is, so he's determined to do things by himself, away from people. So if this is something you're wanting to do, like if you're wanting to be, say, self-employed, or you want to start your own business or something like that, you can definitely do that. I think you'll probably have to save a bit more money. I'm seeing that, but I don't think that's going to be a problem for you. I think you might have suffered from a financial loss, actually. That's why I'm seeing money here. I think when you came out of this relationship, you had this financial loss, and I think you might still be replenishing that. You might still be kind of getting your money back together after that time. And, you know, it takes time, but you'll get there. You're strong and you're really down to earth. You don't have unrealistic expectations. You don't think you're going to suddenly be a millionaire if you work for yourself. It's not like that. You know, I think you know it's going to be hard, especially in the first few years. But yeah, you're like this man in the chariot. Once you've made your mind up, you push forward and you do things. So, you know, if this is resonating with you, keep on doing what you're doing, stay on the right path, on the same path, I should say, and you'll end up in the right place. You'll end up where you want to be. Just keep pushing, keep going. Okay, so the next card you have here present is the King of Pentacles. Fantastic, here we are. So, yes, you have this right under the Chariot. So where you're going, where you're driving to is, you know, you're driving right into the money. And this king, you know, if you look at this king, he slowly works his way up. He's worked really hard. He's worked very steadily. That's what Pentacles are all about, steadiness, stability. And he's done all of that very carefully. And now he's at the top of his game. So yeah, this is where you're heading. And a lot of successful people work alone. You know, they know their own mind. You know, they don't have to ask, they don't like asking other people, I should say, what to do. They just do things for themselves. And this is interesting as well, because I think you either had this card in your last reading, I'm just remembering this, or it might have been in the one before that. But yeah, if my memory is correct, if this is coming up again and again, that means it's definite. This is going to be a success for you. Now, if you're just in the planning stages, I'm just seeing this. It might be a good idea to start organising the paperwork now. You know, if there are any licenses that you'll need or anything official for this business or whatever it is, try to do these things now or as soon as you can, because I'm seeing that you might have some problems with things. You know, you might have some problems with things being held back. I'm seeing some red tape, bureaucracy, things like that. So if you get as much as you can done now or sorted out early, then you won't have to worry about any of these roadblocks later on. You know, you don't want to be in the middle of things and there's some legal requirement that suddenly stops things that you didn't know about. So get everything sorted out now. Yeah, I keep on seeing a few delays and things like that. So yeah, get this over and done with now if this is resonating with you. Okay, so the last card you have here present is the Nine of Cups. Yeah, this is really interesting actually, because I've got, okay, I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. I just want to tell you what I'm seeing here first. It's really interesting. Okay, so yeah, you're concentrating on where you want to go. You're trying to take all your emotions out of this, and I think you're just working toward this personal contentment, which is what this card's about. Now, what's interesting is, what's standing out to me here is this curtain that's coming down behind this man. Again, it looks a little bit like a waterfall, and it's reminding me of what I was seeing in the Death card. And this is an emotional waterfall. It's coming from cups, and it's falling down behind this man. He actually looks a little bit smug. He looks like someone you don't really want to be around. So this is showing me that you're not going to be interested in love for a while. This is if you're single, obviously, because I think you still have these memories around you of that feeling of your heart dropping when you came down that waterfall and you felt horrible. And here's this big smug man stuck right in the middle, and you think, no more relationships, no more people. I just want to be by myself like this man. And, you know, I just don't want any of that for a while. And, you know, of course, not every relationship's going to be like that, but for now, I think you just want to concentrate on yourself. You just want to get that contentment from yourself, not from anyone else, just yourself. And if you're able to do that, and I think you will, you know, you'll be really even better prepared, I think, for someone new to come into your life, because you'll be getting the contentment from yourself. You won't be searching for it, you know, looking for someone else to get that contentment, if that makes sense. And there's a lot of strength in that, a lot of inner strength. So, you know, if you still have some of these bad memories and bad feelings around you, just know that they're there to remind you of what you've gotten away from and what you don't want to experience again next time. That's all that is. It's just a reminder for you. So the first card you have for your future is the Ten of Wands. Yes. Yeah, again, you know you're going to have a lot of hard work ahead of you. You're not afraid of that. You know it's going to lead to something good for you. You know that you're going to have to do this hard work before you actually get anywhere. You know, I'm just thinking about, you know, it's a little bit like, you know, if this is a business, all the hard work's done in the first like 2 or 3 years. You don't actually make a lot of a profit until later on. So it's hard work, hard work, hard work, and then later on you can start to sit back a little bit. So, you know, it's a little bit like, you know, when a plane goes down the runway and it has to go a long way and has to go really, really fast and pick up speed, has to put in all that hard work, put in all that pressure before it starts to fly. And that's what's happening with you. Now, obviously this man looks as if he's exhausted, and, you know, from the outside looking in, I think you probably look exhausted because of what I'm seeing here, which is, you know, you're working on the usual things, your job or whatever, and now you're working to get this new thing started. I don't think you're doing more than you can handle, though. I think you can handle this work. I don't think it's terrible for you. And I'm saying that because I am seeing someone who might be looking at you doing all this work, and they might be telling you, you know, that maybe you're doing too much work, or that you should stop what you're doing, or something like that. And I think this person feels a little bit underaccomplished maybe, and they see you working and getting close to your goals. And I think it might make them feel a little bit uncomfortable seeing you doing that for some reason. I don't think they're doing this on purpose. I'm not seeing anyone trying to sabotage you or stop you. But yeah, just keep on doing what you're doing. Don't worry about what people say to you. You know, this man's carrying a lot. He really is. But he's on the way to his beautiful house. You know, he's getting there, whether he can see where he's going or not. And I think you know that if you don't put in the work right now, you're not going to get what you want. So, you know, again, you're doing the right thing. Just keep on going. And you know when you're overdoing things and when you're not. So you know to trust yourself and don't listen to these other people. Listen to yourself. If you start to feel overtired, you can stop. But, you know, listen to yourself, not other people. So the next card you have for your future is the Knight of Wands. Yes. Okay, so there's someone around you who likes a little bit of attention. I've seen this person around you before, I think. They've been in other readings before. They might have actually been in a few. It's a bit difficult because I think they need you. I think they need your care in some way, but they also reject it. It's really strange. It's like on the one hand, they're a little bit like, oh, will you help me, please? And then they reject your suggestions, but then they come back again. That's what I'm seeing. It's very strange, backwards and forwards. I don't know if this is a relative, because I am seeing family here, so it might be a relative. If it is, I think there might be some other family members who help them out a bit as well. They're not a very mature person. They might be a teenager, or it might just be their outlook. They might just have a bit of an immature outlook. But yeah, this is what I'm seeing. They go backwards and forwards from you to other family members. And I know you care about them, but just be aware that they might be playing people off each other. I don't think they're doing anything really terrible. They're just not very mature. So just be aware of that. You know, they might be telling different people different things or something like that. I'm not saying totally distance yourself, because I can see you do care about them, and they do need some kind of guidance. They absolutely do. But just keep your eyes open, that's all. Just you know, don't go into this sleepwalking, that's all. So the last card you have for your future is the King of Swords. Yeah, I think the way to deal with this person might be to be a little bit like this king. You know, he keeps his emotions out of this, and he's very logical. So I think that's kind of what you're going to have to try to do. I'm just getting this feeling that they might play on people's emotions a bit to get what they want, maybe. So try not to be involved in the emotions of this. You know, if they come to you needing help, make sure you look at all the facts of the matter, you know, especially if they ask you for practical help, or especially if they ask you for money. Now, I'm not saying never help them. I'm not saying that, but look at these cards. You've got the 10 of Wands, and that's representing you, hard work. And then you've got the Knight of Wands representing them, which is kind of chaos, jumping all over the place, being out of control of things. So be really careful not to throw all your hard work and all the benefits of that hard work towards someone who doesn't manage themselves properly. Because the feeling I'm getting is they could manage themselves a lot better than they are if they tried. And yeah, they probably do need guidance, but if they're asking you to give them things or money, which I think they might do soon, just be very careful of that. Really think about the best way to help them. I know that's very specific, but I just want to warn someone. I just need to warn someone about that, because I'm seeing this person coming back saying, oh, can you help me? And getting all emotional. So again, I'm not saying don't help anyone. I'm just saying that you need to be very careful. You need to keep your eyes open. That's all. So Taurus, I hope this resonated. But as you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone. But again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like to. And thank you so much for watching.